right. What's up, guys? We're back. We took a little break, a couple weeks, I think, between our last podcast, but we have a special guest here today. We have Derek Reeves from Wheelie TV. What's up, man?
The motor mouth.
Appreciate having you guys. Appreciate you guys letting me come out here and play with you boys.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
What'd you say, Steve?
Don't you? Isn't your tag the motor mouth?
Derek the Motor Mouth Reeves. Yeah, that's what it's developed in lately.
You never heard that, Adam?
I've never heard that.
Because you never hear me shut up enough to tell you about it.
You're never short for words.
No, I try to have the gift of gab. It was handed down. It's one of the only things my father gave me that was correct.
Well, I mean, you do a good job.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, we want to bring Derek on. He's I think, what is your position in Wheelie TV?
Half owner.
Half owner. Okay.
We started it up.
Yeah. So for some of you guys that don't know what Wheelie TV is, it's kind of a social brand. You guys promote videos, film videos.
Yeah, pretty much anything that you want to get seen doing something stupid on a motorcycle, we got a spot for you to put it. So our number one thing that we like to say is that we support our local stunt riders, and that don't just mean here in St. Louis. That means everywhere,
right.
Anywhere in the U.S., anywhere in the world. If you're up there and you're being brave enough to do the stunts and the tricks that obviously you guys have showed a lot of the world to, and now it's starting to be an epidemic to where everybody's wanting to do it. You want to be seen doing it? Hey, tag me in it. It goes right on there. It don't cost nothing.
Cool. Yeah, so what we want to do is we're going to run through Derek's life story.
Oh.
We're going to get to know Derek well.
Starting with who are you?
Yeah, so we're going to do is, start as far back as you want. Tell us who you are and everything about you.
Pretty simple. I always classify myself as just an old dirty carpenter. I got into carpentry years ago, was a union carpenter, all that. But the beginning of the stunt riding part of my life actually started with an old friend of mine that my boy Josh Hippie Frey, that's been around the scene for quite a while. We met back up later on in our years because we used to have our own first place together when we was like 15 years old. So after that, after we did some growing and lived together for so many years, he went his way, I went my way. So he went into stunt riding pretty much with you guys and learning from you guys and a lot of people from the background.
And speaking of Josh, I actually went to Stunt Wars with him, or I met him down in Stunt Wars in like 2006. And hung out with him all through Stunt Wars, partied with him, had no idea, and that kind of kicked my relation off with Josh.
Yeah, he definitely told stories about how even before Streetfighter days.
That is crazy. I didn't even know he was stunt riding that long ago.
Because he was around with Pro Caliper.
Yep.
Was he boys with Trevor and all those guys?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 100%. All them Belleville guys and Fairview Heights guys, No Fountain guys all got together and started that Pro Caliper running, and I wasn't around for that. So, I mean, he went into stunt riding, I went into motocross and supercross, and then here it is, a 10, 15-year leap later, we run into each other at a bar, and I'm sitting there, and we're all talking again, and I'm like, man, what have you been up to? And he's like, I still hang out, and still I'm an iron worker, but this is what I still do at night. I'm still out riding wheelies and messing around with these guys, and I'm like, oh, for real? I was like, well, I'm still racing motocross, but I broke my neck and got a little time on my hands. Let's see what's going on with this. So he brought me out literally to the Casino Queen lot that we don't have no more.
Right.
And, that was a great place for meeting everybody.
That was awesome.
Jesus.
And just the energy that everybody fed off each other, especially when you guys would show up and start tearing the lot from end to end, and then it'd pump everybody else up.
What bike were you riding back then?
Oh, man. My first stunt bike, besides the little bikes, the Honda 50s, that's where I started off at.
But I remember you had a full-size bike there.
The Gixxer.
That's what it was. I remember that was when somebody sucker punched you and your jaw was wired up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
that's like when I first met you.
That wasn't too long after the beginning of all this. Yeah, definitely got sucker punched pretty good. And that was actually the second time I had my jaw broke.
Who sucker punched you?
Oh, Brendan Boonyak.
Who's that? Yeah, was he in the stunt scene?
Well, it seems like the story that I get, because I knew his brother, and I can remember his brother pretty well, and I don't remember Brennan at all. But it seems that he was out trying to learn how to ride wheelies and actually looped out and busted his head open, didn't have a helmet on. And he took a nasty dive and had some brain injuries or whatnot. But it happened to be that I had that Gixxer. I was just starting to get the wheel up and clutching up and starting to get comfortable on the bike. And I had a guy from California that came in town. And he was riding with me that night. And we was like, man, let's stop and get a cocktail. So we stopped in at Big Daddy's.
That's what it was, Big Daddy's.
Yeah, Big Daddy's in Belleville, Illinois. And we're sitting there having a good old time. And Brennan and Kyle LaRue that worked at the Honda shop was sitting there. Well, I guess Kyle and him had a little issue with an ex-gal
It's always
Always
a
a
girl.
girl.
Always a girl, man.
Yeah, always. And for sure. I'm just sitting there and I'm watching this go down and I don't think nothing of it, you know. I'm sitting there telling dude, just play it off. Who cares? It's just a chick. It's just a chick. And I'm sitting there and out of the blue, after he comes through, Kyle's sitting there and he's ordering a drink and my buddy pulls up next to him. Well, he turns around and just face pushes my buddy. And I'm like, whoa. So Kyle steps back and my buddy just throttles him, knocks him cold out. Head hits the ground. He's cold, does one stomp, runs out the door, jumps on his bike, takes off. Don't even grab his helmet or nothing. I'm like, oh, man, that just happened, you know. So I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm like, everybody knows me up here. I'm not going to have a problem. So I go out on the phone, get out front of the bar, and I'm sitting there, I'm talking to Hippie Frey. And I'm like, dude, you wouldn't believe it. Dude just got knocked out. You know, Kyle's a good dude, but, man, he was really pushing it. And the bouncer came out and he goes, man, these dudes are going to jump you, Derek. And I'm like, man, ain't nobody going to jump me. I'm a little guy, but, you know, I hold my own. Yep, I'm sitting there on the phone, and next thing you know, I got popped right in the jaw, and I'm like.
You never saw it coming?
Never saw it coming. They
Oh,
blindsided me.
sucks.
And I was sitting there on the phone, and I remember still having the phone in my hand, and I'm like, some mofo just sucker punched me. As soon as I said sucker, my jaw dropped. And I was like, oh, and I looked out, and they were already in the car, gone. So it took me about 3 days to actually track the dude down and pretty much put the fear of God into him, make him pay some money and a couple other things. And long story short, I had to take it to court to get some of the hospital bills paid. But he was living with mom and daddy, and he couldn't pay nothing. And if I would have sued him, it would have made him go to bankruptcy, which actually would have helped him out later on.
Right.
So, yeah, that's the jaw story. I ended up, and that was right when I started getting into the scene and everything. So, like little dude date and all the other rides and stuff, yep, wired shut.
So what happened to the Gixxer?
Yeah. What kind of Gixxer was it?
I think it was a 04, 05, 600.
600.
And all white and black. And, it was stock as a rock when I got it. And ended up having to take my buddy Roach all the way out to Tennessee. He's like, you give me a ride out there. I got a cage for you. I got a sprocket for you. I got everything you need. So I was like, all right, I took him out there. So I ended up finally getting it all on the bike. And I fell in love with the bike. But obviously I had some pretty decent accidents as learning.
Right.
You know, it ended up getting totaled out. Actually, that's the bike I was on when I hit Hippie on Highway 70. And I came back from middle of the map. Great fun times. And just got back that day, and we're rolling down the highway. And he thought we was taking the Tucker exit, so he kept looking over his shoulder, so he kind of slowed up. And when I came out, what I thought was the longest wheelie I ever rode, you know, I'm all excited. I'm looking at little Brocklin, and I'm like, man, dude, yeah. And as soon as I looked up, I'm already in him. I hit him square in the back tire, and I'm talking about ejectocito. I'm probably
For you?
Oh, man, I'm up over Hippie by about 10 feet flying through the air, and he's off the bike about 8 feet.
How fast were you going?
Oh, I must have been still doing about 55.
Jesus.
And he must have been probably slowed down somewhere around 35, 40 miles per hour. But, it just hit just right to where the whole bike went straight up. He's flying through the air, and I'm looking down as he's coming down, and my bike's behind him. And once I hit the ground and I'm tumbling and I'm looking, my bike is literally just eating him, going down the highway all the way off to the side. There's nothing left of the Gixxer. I look up, I pull the helmet off. Ricky Brocklin's like, dude, don't move. I'm like, get off me. So I stand up and I look over, and Hippie's already got his bike back up, and his rim is so demolished. You could
rim?
You could fit your fist through the rim in the tire. Just that simple. And he takes off wide open. Wow, wow, wow. I'm looking around. I jump on the back of his old girl's bike, and she's even looking at me like, you're going to ride on my bike? And I'm like, yeah. I have no other choice at this time. So I get on her bike. We pull into Jackson. He's laying on the concrete. I know he's messed up because I'm tore up. There's nothing left of my bike. In fact, Royalty Dane ended up coming and grabbing the bike, and the only thing he could salvage for me to sell was the motor.
Wow.
Everything else was completely demolished. But, yeah, Hippie ended up healing. I ended up driving all the way back to Belleville.
And when was this?
This was, I guess now it's had to be about 5 years ago. So I rolled all the way into Belleville to the ER, and they're like, oh, we're life flighting you to SLU.
Oh, really?
It
was that bad?
Yeah. And I was like, I ain't getting no helicopter. And at that time, my wife, she was an RN. I told her, I said, you're driving me. And they wouldn't let me leave out. They actually put me in an ambulance because I wouldn't get in a helicopter. I didn't want to pay the bill.
Jesus.
So I make it all the way to SLU. End up finding out that, I have a bad problem with doctors and hospitals, evidently. So I'm in there wigging out, and they're like, if you can just walk to the door at this point, because when I got to the ER, my legs wouldn't work. They had to get a wheelchair to roll me in.
Really?
And I'm like, yep, we got to go. So the doctor was being kind of a prick. I kind of just said, screw it. And I got up all gimpy and worked my way across the floor and made it over to the door and touched the doorknob and told him to go screw himself, and then left out. Well, bad choice. What was it? 3 days later, I had a hematoma burst on my spine.
Oh,
Remember when I had
Jesus.
that drain line on my
Damn,
back?
yeah.
We was all out partying. I had a little like grenade bottle on my side that's sucking fluids out of my spine and stuff.
And you were out partying?
Yeah,
Jesus.
we're all at Bobby's on Washington. Heck, Dane's birthday and everything.
Was this like, when did you actually start stunt riding? Was it
I think I've only been actually around you guys now for maybe 7 years.
7 years?
Yep, 7 years. Try and put a footprint in it real quick, try and help organize and try and build off it. But more than anything, it was just the people and the energy and definitely the sketchiness. I mean, I was never good at hard drugs, so it was always adrenaline filled. I cage fought. I raced motocross. I raced supercross. I raced stock cars. I mean, that's why they call me Triple Nickel for so long. I raced motocross 555.
Never heard that.
Supercross 555, stock cars 555, and got married 5505 at 5.
What's the significance of the fives?
That's just my lucky numbers.
555, Triple Nick.
Got tattooed on both arms and the lip, everything.
So you're Triple Nick, and what else? What's your other?
Triple Nickel and Derek the Motor Mouth.
Motor
Reeves.
Mouth. Okay.
And a lot of people like to call me a little prick too, so that works out. We added in there.
I mean, hey, it works. Okay, so you had the bad crash, and then I assume the bike's totaled.
Yeah, that one was completely totaled out.
Then what? So what's the next? What's the next step after that?
Well, the next step after that was definitely staying on the little bike a little bit longer, which turns out that was just as dangerous.
No, oh for sure.
Oh yeah, you split your head open like 3 times.
Oh yeah, big time.
Big
time.
What is that?
TTR 90.
TTR 90 is what
90?
I got now. Yeah. That's my baby. That's my favorite bike in the world. I mean, I love Black Betty, my F4i, but the TTR 90's actually been real good to me. I've been able to adapt to that thing like no other. But yeah, definitely. Let's see, that one was a couple years back. ROC, I was running from one of them boys, and he kind of shoved me to the curb a little bit, and I went to go jump over the curb and didn't make it, and I had my whole front of my head busted open. Had to run, go get staples, come back so I can make the after party. Of course, don't want to miss that. But then I had the back of the head busted open a little bit before that, and then the bad crash, which was actually on a little SSR 70. I don't know why I was riding the dang thing. But fractured tibia plateau, blew out the ACL, shattered meniscus. They took part of the patella, made me a new ACL out of that. 4 days after that surgery is when got in another little scuffle and fractured the fibula on the same leg.
Oh,
jeez.
Yeah.
Like a scuffle or a
fellow rider talking about having clutch problems on his Grom, Hey, Derek, I know you'll tell me how to fix it. Just take it for a ride. And I'm in my demobilizer brace. It's like 4 days after surgery. And I'm like, man, I don't want to. He kept begging and begging. Finally, I'm like, all right, man, just let me on it. So I take it down, take it back, take it down, take it back. I'm clutching it. Everything's feeling fine. And then, I barely even let off that clutch a little bit, and it just rubber banded me straight back, bent the demobilizer brace. I'm laying on the ground. I get back on it, pull it back in the parking lot, and I'm like, dude, just get away from me right now. It was bad.
So is this why you're going into the announcing? Because the riding's not really for you?
You know what? I love and I live for the riding now. And, obviously I'm doing it as much as possible. I'm never going to circle the big bike, so lots bore me. I'm not going to get out there and mess around going back and forth when I can do it in the streets. I love straight line. I will always ride straight line. But, the MC part of it, it came by storm. I never knew I had the talent for it. And once it took off, now it just seems like it might be a future to be able to keep doing it full time rather than swinging a hammer and beating my body up more and more.
And everybody that says they don't like lots normally can't do circles.
Yep, 100%.
And then once they can do circles, they're like, oh, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I didn't say I couldn't circle there for I can't jump off it. There ain't no way. I can sit there and jump off.
Oh, is that what the issue is? Like if you get in a bad situation, you eject?
If I twist this bad knee one more time, especially the way it is right now, it's gonna be bad. I'll have to get a full implant. So I don't want to do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
I don't want it.
Oh man, no.
I got enough steel plates, pins, and rods in me at this point that I don't need no more. At least I'm gonna look this good till 90.
Yeah. You haven't aged since I met you.
You neither.
Oh yeah, man. I'll get you later. Okay, so I guess at this point in time, you're kind of hanging around Shady Jack's a little bit, right?
Yeah, pretty much religiously.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then you got down to Shady Jack's via Hippie and those guys, or you just kind of found your way down?
Yeah, Hippie brought me down there, and that's when we started on the little bikes right when I got started. And then I started going down to Royalty and meeting Dane and meeting
Really
Travis.
sucks we lost that place.
Man, it's so sad because
Dude.
I have not done any maintenance to my big bike since.
No.
I'm so sad.
Yeah, they underestimate the impact them moving out of there did to the St. Louis stunt industry.
It was a absolutely amazing play. I'm glad that I got to spend the time that I did in there.
Right.
But at the same time, I hear about all the memories and all the times that you guys have
Right.
had and everybody
Did they
else.
sell that yet? Do they still own it?
I don't know if Travis got rid of it or not.
thought
I think it's
the
still
buildings.
Yeah.
I thought he sold it.
I don't.
There. I'm
Not
not
that I
positive
know
on
of.
that.
Dane, if you ever listen to this, text us. Let us know.
Yeah, damn.
Last I
what
heard,
days.
someone tried stealing his bike.
Well, that was right when we was emptying it out.
His bike. Oh, there's still bikes in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His bikes and tools were in there, and he caught the guy stealing his bike. Like,
Yeah, they
cut a hole in the fence, and they were literally wheeling it out as he drove by.
Yep. That's the same night that we all collaborated together and got everything out of there that we could.
Oh, nice. Yeah, man. Like just having that, especially during ROC and other events and stuff for
It
people
was
to.
perfect for everybody.
Oh
'cause
man.
You break a chain, you
Probably wasn't
crash
perfect
it.
for him, but it was
No,
perfect for us.
It was perfect for us, right? Yeah.
Oh man,
That's a good point. Cool.
I'm
And
wondering, speaking of Shady Jack's, when did we start going down there?
Royalty? I was going.
Shady Jack's.
I mean,
I can't remember like the first initial like, hey, we're gonna start going here, and this is like.
I
our
mean, it's
spot.
well over 10 years. We were going down there.
So I don't remember going down there back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking
When
2000.
James and Dennis and
Yeah,
or
we went.
Dan or any of those guys, DJ, I don't remember, and Chris, I don't ever remember being down there with any of those guys.
I don't know if like all those guys were down there, but we were down there a few times. I mean, that's the route we would always ride. But we were down there when they were in the other building. Jax was in the building next door to it. Were you down
definitely
there?
before my time.
Yeah. Yep.
But after going down to the lot, I mean, we always ended up going over there to get lunch or
Yeah.
get a couple
Yeah,
drinks. Or
definitely.
whatnot.
But I will say, when we were hanging out down, I mean, when I say hanging out, going down there and stopping after riding that route, but it was definitely more of a Harley bar than, I think after I kind of was away, you guys kind of converted it into more of a stunt bar.
Yeah, being more acceptable because, I mean, it was definitely a rowdy 100% Harley bar.
Yeah, and that was a weird kind of transition, I assume, for Jack, is like trying to figure out how you mix those two scenes.
It took a lot because your Harley riders don't want to see and hear our foreign bikes out there tearing it up and doing what we do. And then Jack and Ann, as business owners, of course, I mean, we bring a complex system to an area that shouldn't have it, and they've adapted, and they have actually helped and thrived our situation around St. Louis for sure.
Yeah, without Jack's, I mean, it's kind of a, I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, I don't even know what you do anymore.
Yeah.
At that point, we're not going to find another bar like it. We're not going to.
No.
In fact, I mean,
No one even has that, so we're just.
Yeah.
That's just a bonus.
I mean, you guys
most
have been
places
all over the world.
I've never been anywhere in the United States and seen anything like that.
The
at
closest
all.
thing is people having shops,
100%.
and then
It's still,
besides that, it's people just meet up at a parking lot and then they ride, and that's it. Or they all meet up in.
So that's a big shout out to Shady Jack's, downtown St. Louis off Broadway. If you get a chance, come check it out. You never know what you'll see out back. That's for sure.
You never know. We were there this weekend, and I noticed that there was signs up now that say absolutely no riding.
There's a big barbecue coming up here soon. So
Actually, no, we're supposed to announce that on this podcast.
are we?
Yeah, we are actually.
So-
this is the one we were going to do it
We
on.
said on the next one we were going to say when ROC was.
Well, why don't you go ahead and say it?
I think it's September 14th.
I mean, that's what I keep seeing, little magic marker writing on
Right.
on all of my social media. I mean,
Steve-
everybody's been blowing it up nonstop. Not only that, I've got probably literally at least 200 people messaging me asking me about it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? I can refer you right over to the guys that really know.
I just tell them the date or refer them to the post. And that's it.
I've already shared it enough times that they should see it.
What's that funny story you were talking about? Yeah, somebody saw the date, but they thought it was like a wedding date or something like that. Somebody got married.
Oh yeah.
Dang.
Someone shared it,
Oh, no.
and they go, "What is that? Is that when Steve and James are finally getting married?"
Oh, man, you should definitely do a mail order. Just
No,
go ahead
I
and start
thought-
sending out invitations.
I thought
That's what
somebody
you should have did.
I thought somebody legit was like, "Oh, congratulations! About time, Tommy and Susie or something."
No, what?
What?
I
Who's
thought that you said like somebody mistook the date as if somebody else shared the post. I assume.
Somebody shared it and somebody commented on it and said, "Oh, what is that when James and Steve are finally getting married?"
Oh, okay. Yeah, my bad.
So, are you not going to get married? Because I'm thinking
No,
about
no.
getting ordained. Because,
No,
I
I'm
mean,
good.
everybody
I'm
keeps
good.
asking me, like, man, why wouldn't you just go ahead and start marrying
No,
people?
hey,
For real.
that's a good idea.
And I found out
actually.
I can do it online, so I don't
No,
have
you
to go
can.
take a real
Yeah.
test.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You can. Yeah.
It's going to have to happen. So, I got you and James, man, for real.
No, I think we're
I mean,
good.
St. Louis is down for that stuff.
No, we're good.
Man,
I
all right,
think-
James, sorry that he denied you on that one.
I think
Get a better ring.
since they started living together, they're not gonna get married.
The stress level has gone up.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
like you get them drinking, and then you get one person to say one story about the other person, and then it just starts this like insanely funny.
He just thinks
banter.
he's so innocent. He's like,
He's not.
what did he say the other day? Man, what did he say? He said something about something. He's like, when you gonna pick this up or clean this up or something? I said, when are you gonna get your underwear off the bathroom floor that been up there for like 5 days?
Thought you were going to say out of your bed.
No, God, I can't remember what I asked him
God.
to do. I asked him.
I would give anything for him to be here right now. Oh man.
I enjoy James, man. I
Oh,
really do.
dude,
I
he
really
is a
do.
trip. Yeah, I want to do one podcast session where I'd get these two going. Oh,
Oh, man, it won't stop.
No,
I've
it won't
seen
stop.
enough of it.
man. We were at Molly's one night and they were going at it. I couldn't even breathe. I was laughing so hard.
Oh, man, I got
Well-
a tear in my eye right now.
Well, because I was like, finally, somebody else can experience Steve the way I do, because we're together all the time and doing everything imaginable together. Sometimes you
I'm
just
an
wanna-
angel.
Nah,
Killer.
sometimes he needs one of these. Okay, so let's see what else. So Shady Jacks, and then Streetfighterz. I think I never really met you before. Just kind of meeting you at Shady Jacks, and
Yeah,
then
there might have been a couple times we bumped into each other before I started riding, but other than that, nah. I
For the
mean, once
most part.
it was the Casino Queen lot.
yeah,
we-
that's what I.
That's what I definitely remember.
I was down there dragging my feet at first, and then you guys would come in, and then I'm like, dang, look at the energy on these guys, and then started noticing and started getting to meet everybody, and then slowly just rolled all the way up to Shady Jacks, and then next thing you know, we're state to state seeing each other
Yeah.
and partying together, and then here we are today.
Yeah.
It's awesome because I mean, I looked up to you guys. You guys are definitely the biggest name in stunt riding. It's absolutely amazing how far you guys have come, and with the old DVDs, CNI, and all that stuff. I mean, that is visual writing porn for people. I mean, the kids are, even the kids today that are still 15, 16 years old are seeing these videos out there, and they're like, good God, and this was how many years ago? And heck, even before handbrakes, and these guys are doing this stuff. I mean, it's still out there. It's iconic,
We were talking about that at Jack's the other day. It's like, man, I think back when we were riding without handbrakes, like all the stuff we were doing, and I'm like, there's no way I would do that today without a handbrake.
Boy,
You know what I
gotta have
mean?
that backup.
Oh man, I mean, it's like,
But then you didn't know. I mean, there was really nothing there.
Yeah, you didn't have no technology for it then.
no, you know what? I don't know if I ever really told the story, but the first person I ever saw with a handbrake was Eric Hornshell. So Eric and Big Scott from Stunners.com. Were you familiar with Stunners.com?
I remember seeing
Remember
a little
it?
bit of it here and there.
Yeah, so Scott lived in Texas, and he was friends with Eric, and they were on their way to I think it was the very first stunt, Starboy Stunt Fest. Might have been the first or second one. But anyway, I'd never heard of Eric. And so they stopped it here in St. Louis and spent a couple days, and we rode together, whatever. And he had a blue R6. He's like, hey, I got to show you something. He wouldn't tell me what it is. So he jumps on, he clutches up in a tank wheelie and just goes across the parking lot, and he starts comboing around on it while he's in the tank wheelie. But he was only going, 10, 15 miles an hour.
Game changer.
And it was so weird because when he came back, he's like, "What do you think?" I go, "Oh, I really didn't even know what to think because I just never. This was probably 2004, 2004 or 5 or something, and I'd never seen that before.
It's probably 2 or 3.
Yeah, it might have been 3.
Probably probably 2 or 3.
I think maybe.
Because Toast was in CNI 4. There was handbrakes in CNI 4. I feel like someone had a handbrake in CNI 4, and that was in that era.
Yeah. So that and what that's when they were like, yeah, we basically just took 2 stock brackets, welded them together backwards, and then got a caliper and brake line.
Ingenious.
Yeah, right.
Ingenious.
And then we started having we saw that, we're like, dude. So we were having Travis.
Yeah, Travis welded on my
welded
first one.
all of our brackets together.
Nice.
Yeah, and he was the only one that we knew that would do it. That could TIG weld and stuff. So that was kind of the beginning of handbrakes for me. But that was like, it took me like a whole summer to even adjust and like figure it out, because we were on leader bikes too, and it was like weird having that on a 954. That's what I had at the time. Like trying to do that, it's like, man, it was weird.
Now you got guys like me that can't really foot brake for nothing because of
no,
handbrakes.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
I tell everybody all the time, they're like, man, you covering? I'm like, I got my foot on it. If I go falling back, I'm going to tap it, but I'm going to tap it hard,
Well, I've kind of forgotten how much engine brake the bikes really do have, especially if you have them geared. I'm always kind of nervous. I rely on the handbrake so much. My brain's not used to like letting it rock. It'll rock back to 12 o'clock and still come forward.
Right
yeah, so it's kind of,
And starting with those handbrakes the way we did, people always ask why my handbrake's on top. Well, we didn't really know any better. And my clutch was kind of on an angle down.
Right.
So if I put a handbrake underneath that, it would have been like this, and I never thought to bring the clutch up. So I just mounted it where it just naturally it just needed to go a little higher than the clutch. And that's how I started with. I didn't know.
Every state, every place I go, there's always, stunt riders walk around and touch everybody's brake. They go over, squeeze on it, like, oh yeah, that feels like this, mine feels like that, whatever. But they always notice that mine's on top, and they always give me grief about it. And I sit there and I'm like, well, Steve Jones is on top. Danes was on top. A lot of these old school guys are always on top. Guru, Hippie Frey, all these guys. I'm like, well, it's all I ever knew, and I understand it like this, and I explain it like this, is that my pointer finger is my strongest finger. I know it gets things done. I tell people on my job site all day long, hey, you do this, you pick that up, you do this. Yeah. So that's my strongest finger, so I'm going to trust it more than my middle finger, because my middle finger gets me in trouble anyways.
Right. My thing was, I didn't know. There was forums on the internet, on websites. There was no MySpace or Facebook or Instagram, so I just put it on there. But my thing is, what can someone do with that setup versus that I can't do with mine?
It's the exact same thing. It's just a different finger. Your 2 fingers are still the same. They both have the same quality. They're still doing the same thing. Yeah, so it's just a mental thing at that time.
I heard Wolf make a comment one time about it, and it made sense the way he said it. He said, anybody that grows up riding a motorcycle, you always use your index finger on the clutch. So if you have it on the top, your handbrake's on the top, you're not doing that. You're using your index finger for the brake.
When I ride, I use 2 fingers on my levers.
Do you?
If I'm not using a brake, what I'm saying? If on my front brake, I use 2, and if I use a clutch, I always use 2.
That's weird.
So then you just hop to your brake on top?
Yeah.
No. Like if I'm just riding, like, what I'm saying? Like I normally just grab it with 2 fingers for whatever reason.
I got short, stubby fingers. I can't
I do too. I can't reach as well.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I feel like the handbrake on top is easier to do clutch work for some reason, especially like coasters, handbrake coasters. But obviously, most of the world is doing it with the brake on the bottom. But it's like, no, but it's true.
Do what you like.
Yeah, do what you like. Everybody always says, guys from St. Louis, they have run their handbrakes on the top.
But I think if the handbrake on top is better for street riding, because you're never really using the clutch in the street. So now you're holding on with 3 fingers and a thumb, and you have more grip than holding with just 2 fingers.
That's how I feel comfortable.
That is true.
But I would think that if I was out doing circles on it, I wouldn't mind having my clutch on top, because I feel like you wouldn't crush, into your clutch. You can pull your clutch and your brake at the same time, and you work it that way. I know a lot of guys talk about being able to work the clutch and the brake at the same time.
Yeah, I can work mine.
Oh, yeah,
Obviously.
we know. We get it, Steve.
Wheelie TV.
Yeah, Wheelie TV. What?
Oh,
Give us the
man.
lowdown.
It's crazy. Actually, being down there at Shady Jack's and ended up meeting Mikey Wiederman. And I started talking with him, and he was telling me how he does videography, and he's done all these videos over the year. I didn't even know that he rode. I guess he rode back in the day for a little while. But I started looking at some of his work and seeing these videos, and I was like, man, that's awesome, So me and him started becoming friends, talking more and more, drinking more and more, and have more and more conversations.
Alcohol's always involved.
He called me up in the middle of the night one night, and he was like, hey, this is the idea I have. And at this time we had, what was it, that Jenna Flo chick. She had, was it, not STL Minis, that's still going. It was Stunt STL.
Stunt STL, yeah.
And I thought it was great. She followed around, did quite a bit of stuff for me or whatnot. And I ended up going out to due date. And when I came back, I guess somehow this chick got her head all messed up. I guess went out, wrecked her bike. And she told the cops that I stole her 250 Ninja. And the cops ended up finding it crashed. But she went through the whole thing to where detectives called me and everything. And I literally just got back in town after this. And I'm talking with these detectives, and they're finally like, no, we already took care of it. We found the bike. We got it back. We know you didn't have anything to do with it, and we know that you was down at Shady Jack's when this happened. I'm like, whoa. So this is a lot of information. I mean, we got to figure this out real quick. Well, long story short, yeah, I mean, she called the cops and pretty much buried herself at that time. And it was just before that when Mikey came to me and goes, here's what I want to do. All these stunt riders always wanting to be seen. We got to figure something out. And I'm like, well, what do you mean by this? I was like, you going to do all the video work? You going to help me? Because I'm not very technology thrifty, I mean, I have no problem running my mouth, being in front of a camera and riding and acting a fool and partying. I'm good at that,
Right.
So I need somebody to be able to take care. He goes, I can take care of all that. And I was like, so you're going to get your camera out, you're going to dust it off, and you're going to start putting these edits together. And he was like, yeah. I said, well, at that point, I'll get people that want to be seen. So he was like, called me up a couple nights later. He goes, how about this? Wheelie TV. I'm like, WTV, like MTV? He's like, pretty much, yeah. And I was like, well, it sounds pretty cool. I mean, if it sounds like it'll work. I mean, at this point, I barely even used Facebook at the time, And I'm like, well, let's figure it out. So we sat down and talked about it, and I was like, well, here's what I would like to do with it. What would you like to do with it? And it was one of those things, like, neither one of us is out to make no money. We just wanted to be out here in the scene. He wanted to be getting back into doing videos and getting the feel for the life again. And at that time, I wanted to be a part of the life. So that's when it came down to support your local stunt riders. That way everybody feels comfortable. When you see the kid next to you that's only bringing his tire up maybe 6 inches or whatnot, and you walk up to him, you pat him on the back, and you say, hey, man, you go ahead and you keep watching and keep yourself in the back of the pack, and then one day you'll work your way up to the front. Next thing you know, you'll be a stunt rider. At that point, you'll be able to understand. So I found out that there was a lot of people that were just intimidated by the lifestyle, and a lot of the guys that we have riding. So once they started finding a comfortable place and having comfortable people talking to them and teaching them and actually giving them a couple pointers, it kind of blew up, and it blew up really fast. I mean, heck, I think we're somewhere close to 50,000 followers, and it's only been maybe 3 or 4 years, something like that, maybe 5 years. And I mean, I've stayed at that number. We don't push nothing. We don't put nothing out there that, we don't want the law seeing anything that we really do. So we don't put nothing back in the face of the law. But if you got a video that you want to be seen on some kind of social network like Wheelie TV, all you got to do is tag us in it, and it ends up going on there. So with it being that simple and that easy, it just grew. And it made a lot of people comfortable. And I mean, nowadays I'm seeing it more and more. Now that I'm traveling more and more, I got people in every single state. Of course, I mean, you guys have had the following for years and years. And I mean, it's awesome to understand the camaraderie of these riders now, to understand that I know I'll be in San Antonio, Texas in a couple weeks. All I have to do is put a post up. Who's in San Antonio, Texas, who has a couch or who wants to go out and have a couple drinks or whatever. And at any point, I can have it can be as little as one good person to as many as 40 good people that want to go out, hang out, have a couple drinks, or just want to show up to the show and show support for each other. And that's the thing, you know, support your local stunt riders. If I'm in your city, I'm in your state, I'm anywhere near your show, I'm going to be there. I want to see what you're doing. I want to take a little video. I want to see what you're doing it for, why you've been doing it, how long you've been doing it, and I want to put you out there. You know, it's just that simple. I mean, it's awesome because we talk about it all the time. It is our riding family. It don't matter what state we're in. It don't matter what breaks. Everybody collaborates together, and it's crazy to think that it's bigger than these Harley scenes that are out there that, you know, they're patching in and they're doing this and they're doing that and they're having a, you know, an enforcer and they're having all this going on, all this politics to it. We throw all the politics to the side and we're just family. I will do for you what you would do for your son, and your son will grow up to do the same thing. And we're teaching each other to collaborate together and help each other. And it's awesome because I tell people in our shows, the bottom line is that 1% of the world actually gets to see what we do in person. A very, very small portion of that are actually dumb enough to do it. I mean, it's just that simple, you know. Not saying we ain't had some bad seeds in the scene, and you know, but I do believe over the last.
You get that in any scene.
Oh, of course,
yeah.
Of course.
Anything you do in life.
And I do believe it's getting a lot better. I think everybody's getting more trustworthy, and everybody's actually thinking before they bring somebody in, or you know, I think it's a lot safer than it used to be, and I think we got a lot more good people involved in it.
Speaking of the Harleys, what do you think of the new Harley trend?
Oh man, I love it. I'll tell you what. I mean, before I was back on these stunt bikes and stuff, I mean, I had a bunch of Harleys. I had a 98 Special Edition Fat Boy. I had two 883 Huggers that I had all souped up and did shows and stuff, and just regular, like, look at my bike shows, not riding wheelies like these guys. But it's amazing to hear somebody just beating on these American muscle bikes like that and being able to keep up with the finances of keeping it going. But it's so epic because it's a new sound. You got these baggers standing on one end, and I mean, who can't just stop for a second and look at that? It's amazing that something that big is standing up like that. And to think that we have kids that are 15 and 16 years old that are standing those 800-pound bikes up and rolling as long as they want to, like AJ Sulky. Absolutely amazing. Gage Sutton can ride anything. Dom, I mean, we got so many of these little kids now that are just bypassed us so quick because of guys like us taking them and teaching them over and over again, and now they're just taking over the world. It's absolutely amazing to think what the future of stunt riding will be because of the talents of these kids and how early they have started.
Yeah, that's one thing we always talk about. When we started, there was literally, you know, like Steve said, there was no social media. I mean, there were forums and stuff, but people still didn't really share information and things that they were doing as much. It was more like dialogue, a lot of like people bashing each other and things like that, but not like, so we, you know, to figure out things, you would either have to buy a DVD in like a bike shop.
100 tricks invented since we started.
Yeah, so mostly everything was kind of siloed wherever in the area you're at. So we just kind of feed off each other and invent things or figure things out or
everybody
get, you know,
pushing everybody.
Yeah, but now it's like, you know, because we've kind of laid the groundwork with a lot of the older guys. These younger kids, you know, handbrakes are figured out. How to keep your bikes cool is figured out.
The bikes are completely figured out.
The bikes, you know, everything about it, like
and all the
techniques.
Tricks.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, and then everybody's sharing so much stuff with the styles they're riding and the tricks they're doing. So like the progression, somebody can just pick a stunt bike up
quick.
and be, you know, within 6 months, you know, be a top level rider if they really want.
Yeah, look, it's St. Louis. I mean, people like Mike Hill's only been riding a couple years now. Most of these kids have only been riding about 3 years.
Yeah.
They're 15, 16 years old. And I'm telling you, I mean, I'm watching little Dominic, and he's circle wheeling and just comboing so smooth and has a style to him. So he's really adapted and picked up from each and every rider that he's watching, just like Tyler and AJ and all these kids. And Gage, I mean, Gage is just phenomenal. We just had his birthday party, and it was nothing but killers. I mean, I've never seen a Sweet 16 party like this in my life. It was epic. At an airport, police escort stunt ride, vendors. It was a good time. On top of that, we was talking about the innovation of the new stunts coming through. I got to see Tommy Yami get up, have frog or frodium, reach through, take his hand off the throttle, and work the handbrake with his right hand with his left hand up. We ended up calling it
I seen a
pretzel
picture.
podium. So actually named a stunt right then and there. It's insane.
You
and
can't comprehend that. So
He's
left foot
foot
on
on
the
the tank.
on the gas tank in a frog.
Right
Right foot over in a podium, and then he's got his hand through his right hand working the handbrake.
Got it. Okay.
And his hand's literally upside down at the same time.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's circling.
crazy.
And he's
He was circling doing that?
Yep.
You gotta slow down and explain that to this man.
Yeah, I noticed that. It was crazy because
man, I'm old school. I like straight line tank wheelies coasters, man. These dudes are getting out of control.
Yeah, it was insane. I mean, he did it during Sickest Trick, and he only had 3 runs to do it. And I mean, he finally got it. I mean, everybody went crazy. It was insane. We even had the mayor out there. We had the head of the airport. We had the chief of police. We had the chief of the fire department out there. And I mean, everybody in the place was just yelling. It was awesome. And I mean, and he's out there doing it against people like Kyle Slager and little Gage. I mean, I'm putting him on the same level as some of these guys that have been just insane for so long, and he is out there just doing it with them. It's just so cool. From old bull to young bull, they're just stepping their game up. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'm real curious to see where the stunt scene is in 5 years.
I can't wait to see it for sure. I mean,
I'm wondering where it's going to be in a year. I feel like Harleys are. Everyone I talk to says they want a Harley, wants to get a Harley. I'm wondering if that's going to be.
Yeah.
If that's really going to take over.
Well, so
everybody's going to want one, but not everybody's going to be able to keep up.
It's
on
the maintenance. Yeah. So here's one thing I was thinking the other day when I was driving. I was like, it almost feels like a reinvigoration of stunt riding just in general, because like you said, like everybody wants a Harley.
It's going crazy.
It's almost like a new injection into the industry, like this whole stunt thing.
Look how much bigger the supermotos have gotten now. I mean, they're insane.
That too. It's almost like people got bored with the stunt bikes,
and
they're looking for something new.
But it's positive for everything, because like obviously because people riding Harleys, it looks like it's even on social media, it's reaching out to a whole new audience, and you're going to get overlaps. You're going to get people coming from who are interested in the Harley stunt scene. They're going to come and be exposed to the street bike scene that they've never even probably knew existed. So I think
street bike guys that didn't like Harleys, now they're like, Harleys are kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So it's going to help people that are selling parts. It's going to help people that are selling gear.
Yeah. The part companies that now they're starting to make Harley parts where
everybody
5-7 years ago, they probably would have never imagined they'd make stunt parts for a Harley.
Right.
Yeah, so it's going to open the doors for a lot of people, that maybe have kind of like gotten bored, or the street bike scene's gotten stale for them. So I think it's good. I mean,
the revamp.
I'm trying to get one.
Yeah.
You
tomorrow.
Yeah, you need one.
I'm selling my house, and as soon as it goes through.
Well, I heard you was moving in with James.
They do. They live together.
That's
what I'm saying. That's why the stories, if you get them together,
then
there's so many it brings out all these funny ass stories that they're like, Steve's leaving underwear in the bed, like James is all this weird stuff.
I thought that was a joke.
No, the bathroom.
My bad. The bathroom.
Okay. Do you leave your
hilarious.
toothbrush out when he's home?
Yeah,
I know you guys play a lot of games. I see what you guys do on the road all the time.
I don't play with that.
Yeah, but what if he
I
does?
normally don't do something to someone that I wouldn't mind it coming back to me. That's my theory.
So you've never touched his toothbrush?
No.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
Whose toothbrush?
He looked pretty honest.
You did something with a toothbrush in the RV.
Oh yeah, but that's different.
Why is it different?
Whose was it?
I mean,
it was Storm's, right?
It's Storm.
Oh my God! Come on,
Storm. The truth comes out.
Oh, did he know you did that?
James Snapchatted it, and then we sent it to him.
Oh
man,
man,
Snapchats are insane.
Poor
So yeah, I guess I took it and I rubbed it on my balls, and then he was laying on the couch and I came behind him and put it in his mouth.
Oh God!
And then we sent it to him, and soon then he's like, "Oh, I got a new Snapchat." He's like, "Oh, what's this?" And then he's like, "You guys are dicks."
He didn't get up and fight you?
No.
Good job, Storm. Way to be patient, man. I would have snapped. Ain't no way. I'm not having your taint in my mouth ever.
All right,
it's not the end of the world.
So back to Wheelie TV. The original question.
Yep.
So Mikey started that, and then you were a partner in it. Yep. And then now it sounds like you're kind of the full owner of it.
No. Mikey's still still involved. He still does all the edits, and I mean puts stuff together all the time. On top of that, he does all the printing and comes up with these ideas. And I mean, we're literally we're gonna make it bigger. We're just letting it sit on cruise control right now and just making it easy. I mean, I don't have a lot of time. Mikey works full time. I work full time. I got a kid, he's got dogs, you know, it's one of those deals to where when the timing's right, it's going to take off. We'll start doing more swag and start doing DVDs again, and you know, and try and push it a little bit more and just see where it takes us. I mean, as of right now, everybody's so happy that we do what we do just by putting people out there, that as of right now, it humbles me. It makes me happy. I mean, I always say I get paid in memories, good times, and partying. You know, I love being around.
That.
I love being around these people. And like I said, I mean, I've been through all types of aspects of extreme sports, and I've never found the caliber of what I call family until this scene. You know, you guys have been a part of it long enough that I know you guys have felt the same way. For me, it's just it's second nature now. I wake up, I check my messenger, I check Facebook, I scroll through, and I mean, even on my lunch breaks or whatnot, I'll look at my phone. If I see a good video of somebody doing something, boom, I grab it, I throw it on Wheelie TV. I say something short and sweet. The reason why I don't hashtag and I don't really put a bunch of names out there and stuff like that is it takes too much time. On top of that, my spelling sucks.
How well would that go over with me? See,
I'm one of those guys where I'll tell you straight up, I'm smart enough to work a tape measure. If it's not on a tape measure, I don't know shit. You know,
right?
My schooling background sucked where I live, so it is what it is.
So okay, so what are the properties? You guys have WheelieTV.com?
Oh yeah, we got WheelieTV.com, Wheelie TV YouTube, Wheelie TV Facebook, Instagram. It's all there. Some stays more manicured than others. I mean, obviously, we like doing the Facebook thing. It's free. Everybody's
super easy
on it.
to share,
and it's super easy to get it out to everybody. And later on, it will help us grow also. You know, but we're slowly getting back into YouTube, which I mean, a lot of our videos are out there. Anything and everything that was on our last DVD and the DVD before that, it's all out there. Instagram's been real tough for me to be able to keep up with. I mean, people plug it all day, every day, and I don't even know how they have the energy or if they ever even sleep to be able to keep up with it. So it's
welcome to our world,
dude. It's overwhelming. I mean, I might look at Instagram maybe every 4 or 5 days, and I make it about maybe 5 minutes, and I'm like, I'm turning this shit off. You know, I gotta switch it back out. But it's not that it's oversaturated with what we do. It's just nonstop. You know, it's just hard to keep up with.
So, but you guys have on WheelieTV.com, you have T-shirts people can buy. They can support you guys that way, right?
We just got done with a pre-order. We actually brought with the first run of shirts, our Founder Edition Wheelie TV shirts, which was our first shirts we ever produced. We started having a lot of people asking about them, so we redid it. So we only made a small change on them, but they look exactly like the original. But on the bottom now it says "Forever Loyal," and you know, and that's a throwback to not just us being loyal to the riders that want to be seen, but the riders that want to wear our shirts, you know, and still be accepted. I mean, it's not even about accepted. I mean, if you want it, you wear it, and people are seeing it. Now every state I go into, I'm seeing them, and I mean, we just had a real good time. I mean, for only being up like I think we maybe gave a month or something like that for the pre-orders, we did pretty good. I think we ended up selling somewhere around 1,400 units or something. So, which is huge for us, you know.
Right.
And we actually needed it anyways, because every dollar that we've ever made, which we have not made hardly anything off Wheelie TV, it all goes back into the technology. Mikey will be able to get a new microphone for his camera. We'll be able to have the new editing software and be able to roll over a little bit more for the new design for the next run of Wheelie TV. We've only done, I think, 2 or 3 runs of shirts ever since we started up, and the next run I told him I want to make it bright. I want it to be loud. I want it to have a new feel to it and revamp a little bit about what Wheelie TV is, but still hold the same back roots of what it started from.
I think like what you're talking about, you know, it's not like you guys are making tons of money, but I think it's important that you do make some money so that you guys can keep funding what you're doing and keep putting content out. I mean, it costs money to do the kind of things you guys do. Right. So, you know, guys,
ultimately it'd be really nice to be able to have the funds to be able to say, hey, this weekend, this ride's going on. Let's just jump in the car. Let's take all the video stuff. Let's get down there. We'll get a hotel and be able to get all this footage so we can put something together. And it's one of those things, like I said, we work full time and we haven't had the time. So literally it just sits, I mean, besides this run of shirts, it just sits on cruise control. and I'm okay with that, because the simple fact is that it's sitting there. Everybody's still watching it. I can see the numbers. I can see how many people are viewing. And as long as they're not losing interest, I'm not losing interest. So I know that it'll sit there for later on, for maybe after I get through my slump or whatnot, I'll be able to invest into it and maybe do some more swag and do some hats and maybe try and figure out a way to do a Wheelie TV show, or maybe help out with some more block parties, or just be able to travel and hang out with people more.
Welcome to our world.
For the last 20 years.
Yeah, for the last 20 years.
I've been learning a lot from you boys. I really have.
But I did want to say, if you're out there listening, go out to wheelietv.com, pick up a T-shirt, or help support the cause, because it always helps. Nobody's getting rich, but it just helps being able to, like Derek said, keep it going. Jump out to Wheelie TV on Facebook, give them a follow everywhere across all your social medias and interwebs. Help them out. Man,
I really appreciate that. And on top of that, you guys keep doing exactly what you guys are doing. I know everybody loves watching you guys, from when you get on the bus to when you're on the bus to when you get off the bus. It's a lot of energy, and it's fun to watch. I love following you guys. I really do.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Hey, you could have a chance to win that bus.
Yeah, we're gonna raffle. So we're raffling off the RV and the trailer for $100 a ticket. So somebody out there is gonna win that entire thing.
When you guys doing this? When you guys doing the drawing?
Probably
after
once
Doomsday.
the season's over. Yeah.
Yeah, sometime after Doomsday. So how many
Whenever
tickets?
our last trip. After that.
That's
what are we gonna do? Like
400 tickets.
400 tickets.
Cap it off at 400 tickets. $100 each. You get the motorhome, 40-foot motorhome, diesel. And then you get with a slide out.
Get mine right now.
And then you get a 18-foot enclosed trailer, fold down door, 8.5-foot wide. Vinos.
It's a nice rig.
So you have if you guys aren't doing the math, you have a 1 in 400 chance to win that entire thing for $100.
That's legit. I know. What's the max on tickets I could buy?
Whatever you want. I don't think we're gonna max that out. If you want to buy 400, then you can have it.
That's pretty good.
That'd be cool.
It's hard to pass that up. So you guys hear that out there? I mean, you can have the full-blown Street Fighter rig. Can we get any bikes in the back of it? Are any bikes coming with the trailer?
We'd have to up that.
No, yeah, we had to.
It's a couple shirts would be.
Yeah, let's think about that.
And then I think we're gonna have to do something where we say, I would assume we would ask them politely to take the wrap off.
Yeah,
or to rewrap.
Yeah, how do you handle that?
Rewrap over it. I mean, because you really
That's
don't want someone out there, drinking and driving, hit a car,
100%.
and then bad publicity on.
Well, anytime you buy a work vehicle off the lot, that's one of the big stipulations, that you have to take somebody else's brand off anyways.
Yeah.
For safety purposes.
So we'd almost just need someone to maybe wrap over it, or, I
guess you could. Yeah, you could just wrap over it.
Whatever.
Yeah. Whatever works. But that's absolutely amazing idea. That's gonna be pretty cool.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I think it's gonna be funny. Yeah, it'll be entertaining. It's gonna be awesome for somebody.
You gotta fill it up with like blow up dolls.
Yeah, right.
So when they go in, they're in the driver's seat, passenger seat, and we'll have them airbrush with you guys' faces on them and stuff. Let them keep that.
I'm pumped.
You guys should raffle off more stuff. Like every time you change your plastics and stuff like that, there's people out there that want that in their little bar room and all their garages. And stuff.
Yeah.
So,
no, that's a good idea.
Yeah, raffles is where it's at, especially with all the stuff you guys play with. That'd be dope.
Okay, so I think as we kind of wrap this whole thing up, what we kind of talked a little bit what the current state of affairs with Wheelie TV is. Like where's Wheelie TV? Where's Derek in a year from now, 5 years? Like what's your plan, man?
I'm hoping to not be swinging a hammer no more, and hopefully be able to take a little bit easier on my body. I'm always gonna ride. I mean, I live for it. I thrive for it. I live for this lifestyle. 5 years from now, I'm hoping to be doing big events and working a microphone and meeting more people and making more memories. I mean, that's basically it. I always say when one door shuts, another one opens. I've been blessed this far. I mean, Cole Freeman got me my start on the microphone. He said, man, I listened to you on the deck yelling and cussing at people and telling people how these rides are going to go down. I need you to come do a show with me. I'm like, all right. So I get out there on the road with him, get all set up, and he hands me a microphone and goes, up, we're going on, start it off. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? He's like, well, you do what you do. I'm like, you want me to yell at people like I do in St. Louis?
Yeah.
I'm like, listen here, mother, so that's where the whole Derek to Motormouth Reeves started from. But one door shuts, another one opens. I just got a call the other day from a lady, Sue, which is absolutely amazing, sweetheart. She does a lot of the Harley Davidson events, and she was a subcontractor for helping with all the events. Now she bought the rights to like 20 Harley Davidson events. So this not being with the stunt riders, actually get me on the mic full time at these events, being able to host and introduce all the bands and the bike shows and the car shows and just full run it all. So now it's starting to widen the horizons a little bit to where not just the stunt riding scene of it, but be able to promote and be able to help out with events and just see where it goes. You know, I'm hoping and praying that it's something I'm able to do before I'm sitting in a wheelchair. You know.
Yeah, I think you have a lot of potential. I think even, you know, to go beyond obviously street bikes. You know, like you said, you know, drifting, Harley events and all that kind of stuff. So I think you've got the talent for it, and I think
I appreciate it.
I wish you all the success.
And I did get a call the other day. We will be throwing another Midwest Rip Fest next year.
Nice.
So that'll be, of course, the Gateway Motorplex.
The 2020 or at the
It'll
end
be
of
2020. We couldn't get a good date in this year with all the NHRA races and all that stuff, and kind of dropped the ball on the promotions anyhow last year. I mean, we did amazing. I mean, all the stunt riders showed up and showed out. All the drift car guys showed up and showed out. We brought all our families and everything, but there was a casualty. Somebody did drop the ball. There wasn't much tickets. We didn't have much time to promote it, and it happened to be during the weekend of Halloween where everybody has their kids. So it didn't get to blow up like it wanted to, but all the investors saw the potential in it. And the next step from there is trying to put on world record stoppie competitions at these tracks like this, because we don't just have to do it here in St. Louis or at Gateway. We can do it at any track all over the U.S. and hopefully be able to, once it starts rolling, more tracks will reach out to us and we can have more of these competitions, not just the extreme stunts, but also the extreme high-octane drift cars, these bands, these DJs, and these memories. I mean, it should be a good, positive thing. Hopefully we can get it off the ground.
Yeah, she hit us up when you guys
100%.
go in the planning phase. Maybe we can collab and help
100%.
out.
It was awesome to have you guys there last year. It was great.
Good deal.
Yeah, so that's about all I have, man. It's been great talking to you.
We'll see you again in the streets.
Yeah, we're going to see you out in the streets.
I'll see you guys at the barbecue.
Yeah, right on. So wheelietv.com and go out, support, and follow these guys. They're doing awesome stuff. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you guys soon.
Appreciate it, guys. Stay tuned. Support your local stunt riders.